Namaste. A very warm good morning, everyone. I, Ishita Gupta, am privileged to be your host for today's ceremony, and IIT Kanpur is delighted to welcome the class of 1970 to its 55th reunion. Additionally, it brings me immense joy to share that we recently celebrated 65 glorious years of the Institute's foundation. It is truly a pleasure to have you back to this place you all once called home. So, please make yourselves comfortable, reconnect with old friends, and gear up for a delightful trip down the memory lane. वक्त के पन्नों पर लिखी कहानियां आज फिर से दोहराने का इरादा है। यादें ताज़ा करेंगे इस रियूनियन के संग, फिर से वही आईआईटी कानपुर के दिन याद दिलाने का वादा है। Ladies and gentlemen, it's not the years that define a reunion, but the shared laughter, the remembered stories, and the enduring connections forged during your time as a student of IIT Kanpur. वक्त बदलता है, लोग बदलते हैं, लेकिन यारियां नहीं बदलती. And looking at this vibrant group, it is very clear that the IITK spirit never fades. So, why don't we hit rewind, turn back the clock, and relive those student days? Yes? Everybody ready? Okay. With this, I request you to clap 3 times at the count of 3 and then shout 55 as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3, 55. Come on, this batch organized the Inter IIT Sports Meet of 1968, which calls for more Josh. Show the IIT spirit. IIT ka tempo? Fantastic. You've set the bar really high, and now we're counting on you to raise it even higher at your class wise 60th reunion in 5 years. So, time travelers, are you ready for a short trip back to the golden era of 1965? Fabulous. So it's time for you to fasten your seatbelts and activate the IIT Kanpur time machines, journeying back to the era of brawl between Hall 1 and 2, Bulla sessions, Gali competitions, and the thrill of a midnight movie at L7. 55 years ago, more than 250 young boys and one girl from across India decided to embark on a challenging journey away from the comfort of their homes to be a part of this prestigious institute called IIT Kanpur. IIT Kanpur सिर्फ एक इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं, एक एहसास है. 5 साल, एक फैमिली और यादों का पिटारा. The famous movie spots were Regal Cinema and Heer Palace. और हर कोई दीवाना था देवानंद का, with the jewel thief ruling everybody's hearts. And the famous songs that demanded the maximum number of repeats were Raat Akeli Hai and Hoto Mein Aisi Baat. MT Ki Chai was the elixir of life, and the discussion adda of the campus was Red Rose. और संडेज को शामें चूंगफा, वेलेरियोस और क्वालिटी में फिक्स थी. The students of this batch were already business tycoons in the making. चूंगफा का खाना और कमाई double. This is how the Hall 2 canteen became a Chungfa franchise overnight. A batch where farewell parties were not monotonous. They were legendary, in fact, with Susie Wong dance, cabaret, striptease performance, strobe lights, and a very enthusiastic audience. A unique batch where the Dilli Walas on their first day weren't looking for classrooms. उनका जीपीएस सीधे उन्हें मूवी हॉल के एक्सपीडिशन पे ले गया. एंड इंडस्ट्रियल टूर्स टू साउथ एंड वेस्ट इंडिया टग्गू महाराज के साथ इन in a specially reserved railway coach, which reminds me of a song from Rajesh Khanna's film जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना. कितने साल बीत गए, लेकिन ऐसा लगता है जैसे कल की ही बात है ना. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an honored batch to witness personalities like Dr. K.A. Abbas, Indira Gandhi, Sonal Mansingh, Ritvik Ghatak, M.F. Hussain, and Maharishi Mahesh Yogi visit the campus during their time. A studious batch to remember the electrifying lectures of Professor M.M. Oberoi, Professor Don Wilhelm, Professor A. Vasudev, Professor C.V. Shishadri, who always welcomed students for a free meal, And not to forget Professor Yajnik, who taught folk dancing. An energetic batch to do Shramdan as they dug the swimming pool like they were building another Taj Mahal. But a little mischievous too, as they ragged the parade commander by mimicking their commands. And last but not least, इस बैच का लव डिपार्टमेंट थोड़ा अनलकी रह गया. Any guesses क्यों? Yes, because क्योंकि out of 250 boys, बैच की इकलौती लड़की का दिल अमेरिकन ले गया. Every batch has its legends. The ones whose stories live on, whose names are whispered with admiration or mischief. Since I was not there to witness your IITK days, we reached out to your classmates to uncover some of the iconic nicknames from the class of 1970. Let's see who can guess them right. Who was known as the lady killer of the batch? Fabulous.
But there was no lady to tell.
Sant Kabir of the batch with the wisdom of a saint. It was Pandit Rajni Bhushan Agnihotri. Ramanujam of the batch. Yes, correct. Sartaj Kumar Sahani. Chaukidar of the batch. Mr. Rajkumar Garg. And finally, जिसको पकड़ना मुश्किल ही नहीं नामुमकिन है, the dawn of the batch. Mr. Manohar Dandekar. यादें तो एक खजाना होती है, जितना पुराना उतना ही कीमती. And may this reunion fuel your spirits and inspire you to create even more wonderful memories. Now, without any further ado, I invite Professor Manindra Agrawal, Director IIT Kanpur, to kindly share the vision of the Institute with all of us.
Static. Good morning. Welcome to all of you to IIT Kanpur, and I hope you are having a great time. I'm Manindra Agrawal, Director IIT Kanpur. Like you, I'm also an alumnus of this institute, although graduate of 1986, so quite some time after all of you did. But one unique thing about me is that I practically never left the institute once I came in. My PhD also here, and then after 3 years of work outside, came back as faculty, and since then I've been here. I took charge as director in April last year, so it's been about 10 months. And in this period, I've had discussions with our faculty, many of our alumni, and evolved a certain vision for the institute, for which there has been good buy-in, and I would like to share these thoughts with you here to seek your buy-in as well. What I'm not sure is if this presentation is the right one, because as I see, there are two.
So one is in the slideshow mode and one is in the presentation.
Okay, the same presentation. Okay, and then it's hopefully it's all right. Okay. So, as we were just discussing, I think Kanpur, we have still very good infrastructure. Although, if you had chance to visit Hall 1, where many of you would have stayed, most of you would have stayed there, actually, probably all of you would have stayed there. That is kind of creaking at its edges. So that is a bit of a challenge, but broadly our infrastructure remains good, although there are challenges as I just mentioned. But the flora and fauna in the campus is continues to get better and better. It wasn't as good in your time. Now it's absolutely amazing. We laid the foundation. You laid the foundation. I'm sure you planted a lot of trees, and that's what you see now. It's beautiful. I'm sure it can say without any hesitation that we are the best campus in the country. And a lot of animal life also. And these days, a panther also shows its presence felt from time to time. Not panther, leopard. Leopard. So actually, sometimes two of them show up. But so far, the interactions have been pretty harmless. They live their life, we live our lives. Institute has done well. It has continued to grow. Our faculty strength is now touching 600. Student strength has crossed 9,000, closer to 9,500 now. My base, of course, keeps growing year on a year, so it's touching 45,000. Some of our departments have done very well over the years, and you should see the top 100 global department-wise rankings. So computer science, electrical, civil, they feature there. So that's something we can feel very proud of. However, while this is all very good, why is this not moving? Huh? Moving there? Blank. There is something wrong with this presentation. Maybe it is not the right one, or what's happening. You saw a slide?
Yeah, I saw something.
Okay.
I saw the next page. Go to the next.
No, but this is okay. No, there should have been a slide there, which is not showing. I don't know. Let me check. This is actually blank. No, everything is blank. There are only 6 slides. What's happening?
I have a copy of.
Please.
We can
Yeah, let's
copy it
look at
again.
that.
Yeah. We have run the entire presentation.
Something is wrong.
Yeah.
Please fix it. We have a legacy of snafus in any event. This particularly with audios. I don't know what was your time, but during my entire student days, one thing that never worked was the audio.
We had one Mr. Mike Singh who was fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. But every time new event starts, it will go bad again, and then people will shout audio, and then somebody will come and do something. Of course, now with time, we have graduated from audio to video.
There's also a saying which says that the success of a presentation is proportional to the importance of the audience.
Directly or indirectly.
आपके पेन ड्राइव भी लगता है नहीं है
ये पावर पॉइंट ही लोड नहीं कर रहा
पावर पॉइंट लोड ही नहीं कर रहा है ये आपका लैपटॉप फिर कुछ गड़बड़ है
We made them do laptops.
ये डायरेक्टली नहीं लोड कर सकते नहीं
उन्होंने सेट ऐसे किया।
इसमें क्रोम खुला हुआ है अरुण, तो you can shut up.
या क्रोम तो बंद करा दो पूरा क्रोम chews up a lot of
ये पीपीटी चेक तो किया था बट
I think it's
लोड ही नहीं कर रहा है उसमें।
running out of the CPU. If you see CPU memory is very high, 90-95%.
पहले तो क्रोम निकाल दीजिए, क्रोम बंद कर.
Yeah, this was the one that we think. So I was saying that while we have Excel, but there is a problem of perception about the institute as things stand today. There is a broad consensus that we are no longer what we were. 30 years ago, even 20 years ago, we were undisputably number one engineering college of the country. Today, that is definitely not the case. Depending on who you talk to or what ranking you look at, we are third or fourth in that region. And this has, of course, led to a lot of concern among faculty and even more among alumni like you. I mean, a lot of alumni, senior alumni says, well, when we left the institute in great shape and you guys have messed it up. There are concerns raised about the quality of teaching, the quality of research being done at the institute. Now, one digs into it and try to find the reason as to why. One can come up with a multiple explanations. One very important one is that from its inception, let's say up to year around 2000, the primary expectations from technological institutions was high quality teaching. Train the next generation very well. And that we did quite spectacularly. We had fabulous teachers who would devote huge amount of time in ensuring high quality education. Of course, they were. Some were very good researchers as well, but if you research was clearly a secondary part of the being an academician. That changed from around that period 2000. Then the expectations from these institutions changed to the primary expectation became R&D work. So with that transition, we lost out to some other institutions like IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi. They did better than us in that aspect. And we also fell behind in creating good research infrastructure for all faculty, again, compared to these other institutions, and that made us continuously fall behind, as I'll share a little later. Another thing is that Kanpur as a city has remained where it was, but metro cities have grown, provided lots of opportunities for young faculty. The spouses today are also professionals who are looking for other opportunities, and Kanpur doesn't quite provide that. So a mix of all these reasons is has contributed to this falling us behind. Uh, so what do we do about this? We can say, okay, we are where we are. We can't do anything about it. Can't change the location. Kanpur isn't going to get better. And other aspects also, we have fallen behind. Others have grown ahead. So we learn to live with where we are. Or we say, okay, let's do something about this. So I fall in the second category. And I would like us to do something about this by widely addressing this problem. But one thing is clear that you cannot go back in time. That is, we cannot do what we were doing very well and expect that we will be again number one. Because times have changed. Like I said, focus from teaching has shifted to research. But now, around 2020, thereabouts, the focus has shifted again. And we are in that transition period right now. From just research leading to publications in high quality journals and elsewhere, now the expectation from the society, from the government of IITs is shifting to translation that produce technologies which impact the society. And this is a transition period, and this is the right opportunity, I would say, for us to take a lead in this new dimension. And that is what leads to my proposal, the key strategy, focusing around translation research. If we do this well, then perception is going to change very significantly, because when you have technologies coming out of the institute impacting the society, the whole country will learn about and talk about it. Can be a alternate source of funds also. The ministry or the government today, at least to the 5 old IITs, has been saying that we have many young children to take care of. You are grown up and your own money. Third, very importantly, the location that we just said is a disadvantage actually turns into an advantage. Why? Because if we are developing technologies which impact the society, a normal population of the country, you want to do a trial run of that, you just need to step outside the gate of the campus and you can do all the typical problems faced by people in the country are right here. Unlike metro cities where they will have to travel several hundred kilometers to reach to a representative population. Secondly, this is one part of the location advantage. Second is also that we are located in obviously state of Uttar Pradesh, but the state is now poised for a major transformation. It has fixed its law and order, infrastructure problems to a very large extent. The government is strongly pushing to bring industry here. They have set up a very ambitious target to become $1 trillion economy over the next few years, which is basically increasing its GDP 3x. So that's a very uphill ask. And it's only possible through technology-driven businesses here. Technology is what can really increase the GDP very fast. And what better institution to help there than IIT Kanpur? We are the premier institution in UP. We have an excellent relationship with the government of UP today. In fact, over the past 2 months, I have met the Chief Minister twice and proposed to him that IIT Kanpur can play a key role in bringing deep tech to the state, both in terms of our own technology, which we develop and take it outside, and also attract companies through our alumni who are in the best of positions all over the world, and who many of them have a strong affinity towards the Kanpur because they studied here and would like to do something about it. So that's why I say that our location today, if you view it this way, is an advantage. And this is an advantage we need to exploit. Now, when I talk about this technology development translation, this will only happen on the foundation of good lab R&D work. So that is a given. That is that we must first develop some interesting things in the lab before we think about taking it outside. So that's the second part of the strategy, or I should say the main strategy is translational research. The first secondary strategy is that strengthen our traditional R&D work. And the secondary strategy is that we should not forget teaching. We not only have a responsibility towards the next generation, but historically IIT Kanpur has been and still is the preeminent teaching place in the country. But there also, over time, because of the shift in focus of faculty to R&D and other stuff, the time they are giving to teaching is going down. Students' expectations are also changing. It's a very different demography that we get, different type of institution and students different students with a very different mindset because they get exposed to everything around the world. They can download a video on YouTube of lectures and watch it. They don't have to go to the class. Even if they go to the class, they are busy with their smartphones and chatting with somebody or the other, not really engaged in the class. So to catch their attention, we need to adopt our teaching methodology. We can't just go old blackboard style teaching and expect to keep the attention of students. So we should, or we must address this. So let me expand a bit on the key strategy, translation research. And the key point here is not that we are today at ground zero. There are already some very interesting technologies that have come out of the campus and have been deployed. I'll give you some examples. This slide shows you the research or work we have done in cybersecurity space. We have developed technologies like security operations control, security and the service security audit, which today is deployed at all Indian ports. So essentially the security of all Indian ports is with us, the seaports. We have developed blockchain-based data integrity solutions, which are today being deployed. We developed it, we passed it on to a startup, and that startup is now doing very well. It's just gone international, established a base in the US, looking to raise fund at a valuation of about $100 million. So, poised to great growth. We actually nucleated almost 50 startups. And so this, in the cybersecurity, we already had a preeminent position in the country. The second is the Center for Developing Intelligent Systems, which essentially uses AI tools to create impactful societal solutions. And I'll give you two examples here. Again, these are both deployed and fully functioning. One is a grievance management system. This is, for example, deployed in the Prime Minister's office. So this office gets tens of thousands of grievances uploaded at their portal in all shapes and sizes, audio, video, different languages, written ones, handwritten, type. So you name the type of or format of it, it's there. And the complaints would also be some direct against this person, some indirect. So taking all of it and extracting meaningful, actionable points from this is what this tool does. And so this, and it also, of course, looks at the history. So over looks at the history of grievances, is able to identify, okay, a lot of grievances are coming from this region because of this particular individual, even though that individual may not actually have been named anywhere, but because of its the analysis, it can pinpoint so that action becomes easy. So this has become very popular, and not only at Prime Minister's office today, it is in Ministry of Defense and multiple other ministries. And the plans are underway to deploy it in all central government offices. Second is this detection of insurance fraud. So after the launch of PM Aushadhi, Jan Aushadhi, कौन सी योजना थी which provides this insurance? PMJ, right? So because it's a massive scale of insurance that is being provided, obviously you expect a lot of fraud also to creep in. So we have these tools which identifies or detects frauds, and today it is saving, more than 6 crore per month for the National Health Authority. Clearly, I'm sure the fraud actually happening is a lot bigger than this, but this is a good start. Okay, so, and this has been licensed now through Ernst & Young. Now this is being deployed in South America, and so it's certainly a very state-of-the-art tool that's has been developed here. And third is the drone space. In fact, just now, right as we talk, there is a workshop taking place on campus aiming to create the National Drone Hub at IIT Kanpur, because we have all the necessary infrastructure. Nobody else has them. Our own airstrip, our wind tunnel, our flight lab, all the allied with all prototyping and manufacturing facilities on campus. So ideal place for development of drones and testing and certification. And that's what we are aiming to do. Again, some examples of the work that has already been done. We have developed our faculty through working with their students, developed kamikaze drones, which can be launched through a canister or catapult. Humanitarian drones, which are actually now been purchased by several agencies. So there is a Maral, which is solar powered drone, which is now a startup, which is doing very well. So again, number of activities underway. And the final example I'll take is the medtech ecosystem that we are developing, and we all know about this medical school that's coming up. In parallel to that, we have taken several initiatives in medtech space. You may have heard about this artificial heart project, which is now reaching the animal trial stage. So it has progressed very well. Besides that, there are several other initiatives that in the medtech space that we have launched. So these are already there. Now, what I would like to do is to increase it by an order of magnitude. So, towards that, I proposed, and now actually it is a reality, that an office has been created called shortened IOTA, Interface Office for Technology and Applications. This acronym is designed to give rise to a lot of memes, but at least it will give a good visibility of this. The focus of this office is two ways. One, take the technologies in the labs at TRL 3, 4 stage, help the faculty develop, bring it to TRL 7, so that then it can be reach a stage of production. Second, to take the problem statement from outside, bring it back, get the right set of faculty to work on it. So already we have some action on this space. There is Kanpur solid waste management problem. We are developing, a group of faculty are developing a solution for it, which is implementable and sustainable. There is also a group of experts working on addressing the Delhi pollution problem, and again finding very specific, implementable, sustainable solutions. We can all, I mean, on paper, solutions exist, but when you come to deployment, you run into all kinds of challenges. So here the focus is find the things which can you do it easy, creatively. So that's the role of IOTA, and the rest of it, that is making it to the product stage, that's we already have set the setup. You would have seen we have a techno park where we can bring industry to work with us. We have incubation centers supporting a lot of startups. And this office IOTA is in directorate, so the head is reporting directly to me. Now, making this transition or having our faculty transition from just doing research to translation research is a non-trivial ask. And without faculty buying into this, this won't work. So I presented this idea to the faculty in August last year, and then we did an anonymous survey of faculty. So we received 362 responses, which is about 60% of our faculty size. And 2/3 of them liked this idea and also said that they would like to explore this. Now that in absolute number translates to more than 250 faculty. And that is a large enough number. Even if half of them actually do, we will be in a great place. Then going on to the traditional R&D, which is this was the main strategy. This traditional R&D was the first secondary strategy. Here is what I had earlier alluded to, that IIT Kanpur has fallen behind. And this plot shows you concrete evidence of that. This is the number of publications per faculty per year over the last decade for 5 old IITs. If you see in 2014, the IITK, which is the light blue line, was very close to everyone else. So it's like very close, similar numbers. But 10 years later, IIT Kanpur is way below everyone else. So that shows that we are not only fallen behind, we continue to fall more and more behind. The numbers have grown for us in absolute, but the others have grown much faster. Now, there may be an argument here that we only do quality work. So, obviously, therefore, number of papers per year will be less. But that doesn't quite hold because of the second plot, which shows number of citations per faculty per year. Now, citations per year is an approximate measure of the quality of work. If the high quality work, we'd attract highest number of citations. And you see here also we are number 5. So it's not that we are doing some outstanding quality of work compared to others. We are doing well, there's no doubt, but in the relative grading system, we are at the bottom. So this is what this shows is that our traditional R&D has fallen behind, which is reflected in the rank. That shows why we are where we are. But this, as I said, we must address this, because without addressing this properly, we will not achieve the primary target of high quality translation. So that's something we must do. And we know how to address it. I mean, these are very easy things. I mean, high quality faculty, high quality students, state of the art facility, large R&D grants. So these are all standard things that we should do in order to achieve this. One thing I want to mention here is that over time, I think I already said that we have fallen behind in the research facilities compared to the other four IITs. There was a very unfortunate not incident, it just so happened around 2008 when large grants were available to IITs, because government had brought in this OBC quota, so the number of students overnight went up by 50%. So to cater to that, government made substantial extra grant available to IITs to build that infrastructure. For reasons that I don't want to get into, we did not use it, we returned that money. And other four IITs, particularly IIT Bombay, not only used the grant given to them, they also took the grant that we returned, built their so, yeah.
Who was the director at that time?
Well, let's not get into that.
Local person, Kanpur.
So it's easy to find out who was the director. But I mean, it's not that one person was to blame, it just so things so happened that things just got messed up. Okay. So that hurt us badly, and what that has been reflecting situations now. Okay. Now let's go to the teaching part of it. Here, again, this has been now implemented. I have created this CERTEX, another acronym, Center for Education, Research and Teaching Excellence. Its aim is to focus on the teaching pedagogy, modify, create new teaching tools, have experienced teachers share their methodologies with the younger people, help them get better teachers, and not eventually even go outside, not just limit to within the campus, share this with the other institutions. And also one aspect of this would be to also look at improve the soft skills and technical writing skills of students. So this has also been set up now. Okay. And this is the first event of this center is on 1st of March, where they are discussing on the core courses, how to teach core courses. That's a one workshop. Okay, so whenever you talk about teaching, and especially when you tell the faculty that we are not teaching well, generally people take offense, because they say, how dare you tell us that you're not teaching well. So in the survey that I alluded to, I had a question on this also, which said, how do you think about setting up CERTEX? Will it be useful? And rather gratifyingly, 3/4 of faculty almost support this idea and also say that they would benefit from it. So that is great, because most of our faculty realize that they are lacking in teaching and they want to teach better. So hopefully with that kind of support, we will do well here. Of course, as you would expect, there is this fraction, and thankfully small here, who thought that they are the best, so they don't need any of this.
Have you done any research on what the students want or think is lacking in teaching? What the students think is lacking?
For the students, it's very complex. because students, the generic answer is that classes are not interesting or not engaging. Now, the question is why? So one has to dive deep into this reasoning. And that exercise has not happened. I'm hoping that Certex will do that exercise to really understand why. But whenever one talks about this, ask the faculty, okay, you need to teach better. So therefore, you'll have to spend a little more time on that aspect. Or you need to do translation research. That's how the institute will make a name for itself. The immediate question that the faculty asks is, what about my, no, not remuneration, promotion? Because the way our promotion policies are set up, they look at how many papers you have published, how much research funding have you brought in, how much students have you graduated. So everything tied to the traditional R&D. So they say, well, you asking me to do teaching, give time to teaching, give time to translation research, and when the promotion period comes, you'll say, "Arey, aapne to paper publish nahi kiye. So how can we promote?"
So do you have, at the end of every course, we have the students feedback?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Yeah. So this is a very important problem. Without addressing this head on, one would not get their support. So what I propose to our faculty, so text established, okay, that's fine. What I propose to our faculty, that let's create 3 different career progression tracks. Traditional R&D, usual one. Translational research, where we just look at what technologies have you developed, what has been its impact. And teaching one, where we simply look at how large a student body have you very positively impacted through your teaching. And then I propose that, look, if we set up these tracks, then we have all possibilities open. And these tracks would be optional, that faculty can choose, okay, now I'm going on to this track. After a few years, they say, okay, I'm changing track to something else. And then the same survey that I conducted, I asked them about what they feel about this proposal. So about 54% said it's a good idea. Let's do this. About 40% said that seems interesting but requires a lot of discussion. In some sense, not a good idea. So this was August. So since then, we had very extensive discussions across departments, all feedback taken. I created 3 committees who made proposals, got feedback from departments, and 3 committees were merged into one and asked to come up with a comprehensive proposal. We did that. I took it to the board in January, board approved it. And now we have actually formally 3 career progression tracks established. This has been defined. So the committee's job was to actually, this is very high level description, to provide measurable quantitative criteria for each one of the 3. Now, it cannot be fully quantitative because there's no way you can evaluate. Part of it has to be subjective, but give it reasonably precise guidelines. So they're all now there in place. So all the 3 major initiatives that I referred to, we have now set the ball rolling on that. Now let me come to campus infrastructure, because this is where while we are not bad, but there are things that need improvement. One is hostels. We have 9,500 students and 8,000 beds. Shortage of 1,500, which is making us put 3 beds in a room for 2 and 2 beds in a room for 1. And that is far from ideal. I mean, students, they can't even put tables to study in the rooms. We really urgently need many more beds. So I have started the process of adding 4 new hostels, 15, 16, 17, 18, which will bring 4,000 beds, which is more than what we need. But that buffer is required because all 1, 2, and 3, they are nearing the end of life. So the plan is create this first, shift everyone from 1 to 3 to these places, tear down these 3 hostels, which I know will cause alumni a lot of. पूछ के करेंगे तो करने ही नहीं दिया जाएगा. But what I will promise is that we will rebuild and keep the external facade identical. So that any of you, when you come there, you can recognize, okay, ye mera kamar. Because we'll probably increase the number of floors. Not too many, because there is a main road from gate coming to this. If building is too tall on the main road, it just is a bit of jarring. So we don't want that. But we will certainly go beyond 3 floors.
You are assuming that all those students are as young as they were in 65.
Okay, again, same number of students are very large. We need lot more recreation facilities, sports, cultural for them. Central library needs to be completely rethought. I mean, nobody goes and reads books there. So go and sit there, study there. So interaction spaces. Campus sustainability is another thing, and we need to really look at our resource consumption is higher, significantly higher than average. In fact, we not only should reduce it, we should be aiming at a net zero campus. Especially, electricity net zero is far, far away. But in terms of water and waste, we should be targeting net zero. And overall improve campus life. So this is the basic non-academic infrastructure that we need to create. Also, the academic infrastructure, like I already mentioned, we have a shortage of research infrastructure facilities. We need new academic buildings also. Again, northern block, southern block buildings are kind of rather depleted condition. We need to redo them or create again. As the size increases, we need new buildings, house departments, and so on. So this is what the plan is. Okay, where do you come in? For cheerleaders, of course, but in 4 specific ways. One, give the feedback on these plans. The plan that I presented just now has evolved over 10 months through these feedbacks. So 2, that if we are focusing on translation R&D, help. Nearly for most of you, this is what you have done all your entire life. So bring your expertise on the table. Help us in that. Especially another plan that I mentioned, making UP a deep tech focused industry base. All this requires help from our level. Better engagement with students, and Kapil is going to talk about it soon. So there are specific schemes we have created where alumni can directly engage with students. And finally, funds. The target of fundraising to implement everything that I would like to do. Oh, before I get to the target, okay, if some of you would like to, can scan this QR code. This is the QS. So what QS ranking? This is the preeminent world ranking of the institutions. What they do is they do a survey of people, many of them recommended by the institute, and ask for their perception about the institute. And 40% of weightage in the ranking is given to perception. So it's a very high percentage. So, and we provide them with names, which includes alumni, industry people. So this QR code leads you to a site where if you say yes You agree to give your name to the QS, we will pull out, we'll take that and happily pass it on to QS. Now coming to the fundraising part, the target is to raise $600 million over 3 years. This is what we need. How to, the breakup of this is the following. And this here I've used, because I come from computer science background, I've used computer science terminology to express this. The hardware is the infrastructure, both research and non-academic, about 265 million, and with that broad breakup there. The middleware is everything that we were setting up to facilitate high quality work, which includes IOTA, Certex, sustainable campus, support for the faculty, and hospital also. I didn't talk about hospital, it's already coming up. It requires about $120 million to make that happen. And finally, the application is what the main translational direction that we have identified as of now. This hopefully will grow. The AI, the drones, the medtech, the cybersecurity, these things I've already talked about. Sustainability also I've mentioned briefly. Then the quantum technology and semiconductor technology are two more domains where we have strength and we would like to grow. So that's the broad breakup of the 600 billion. And how hostels is there, residential, the residential part, 76 million, includes faculty residences, but primarily hostels.
Since you're talking of hostels, by when do you what is the timeline of these 4 hostels?
I want them, so I am going for this technology called My One, where you create a die for a room or set of rooms, and then just keep casting, just keep casting. So it will be very rapid once the die is prepared. So what definitely over next 3 years, I want all of them to go.
When will this 1,500 bed gap, how many hospitals will cover that gap?
We'll cover that gap hopefully by summer 2026. Yeah, year and a half. So I have a firm deadline I've given our people. July 26.
Next batch.
That's before the next batch, that batch comes. We should be ready.
We'd love to see this situation of 2-seaters being used as 3-seaters.
I would advise not to go. It's not very pleasant.
Again, that is not happy.
No, it's not good. Not good at all. Not good at all.
You can imagine what is there. I mean, young student comes to IIT Kanpur with certain expectations.
Absolutely. No, and expectations have changed with time. So now all new hostels will be air conditioned. There's no compromise there. We will of course ensure that daytime mein nahi chalega AC, so that they get out of the room and go to the classes only in the night. State-of-the-art facilities for everything, whether sports, cultural, we need absolutely state-of-the-art. We are converging to the point that new hostel will not have messes, individual messes. We will create a centralized fooding facility like German Mensa, very at scale. What it does is, at that scale, you get better quality and cheaper food. You can get the best caterers of the country to come and do that. So hygiene is better, everything is better. Absolutely, yes, yeah. Yeah, help interact. I think it only requires, our students are also become, and all of us, lazy. Right? If you ask them, they say, nahi bhai, hostel ke karenge, kam chalna padega. Or they will say, धूप होता है गर्मियों में कैसे जाएंगे वहाँ, है ना? Without pointing the fact, classroom तक तो जाते ही हैं आप. So, but this will happen, I think. This is where we should go. Otherwise, managing different messes, different contractors, it becomes a nightmare. and food quality goes up and down.
What is the number of alumni in the US? Do you know?
8,000? Yeah.
Usually interaction between student population you take and the infrastructure, why you take more students? You cannot accommodate it.
Oh, they are mandated. We can't do much about that actually. The government is what dictates. So two things government mandates. How many undergraduate students we will take and how much fee we can charge them. We can't, those numbers are, we can't touch them. Let's keep. That's the boundary condition we start. And the postgraduate student, we would like, as we hire more faculty, they would like to hire more PhD, so that number goes up automatically. Okay, so where do we raise this 600 billion, or if you translate in rupees, that's 5,000 crores. So 40% of this, I promise to raise from the government, from institute resources, wherever. I, of course, have noted with a lot of happiness that the current RBI governor is our alumnus, who is just two years junior to me. So I must have ranked him also. So I am going to get him to open his vaults one day. Okay. Kapil has been great resource for us in terms of reaching out to alumni and industry to get CSR funds. So 10% or even more would be CSR funds. And the rest, half of it, I would like to raise from the alumni. It's a tough ask, I know. So that comes to, if it's 3 years, 50% is 3,000 crores. So that's like 1,000 crores a year. So today we are raising about 150 crores a year. 150 crores, we need to take to 1,000 crores. It's a huge step up. It's a big step up, yes. But it's better, I believe, to try and fail than not to try. Because we need this. We need this. You know, it's not that we are saying that, oh, let's get a lot of money and we'll be happy with it. Here is the plan. This is the money we need to implement it. The good news is 1/5 of it is already there. Again, it's not that this was there in last 10 months. For example, the hospital project has been going on for past 3 years. Kapil and others have been working hard. They've got even in sustainability space, Kotak School of Sustainability, 120 crores. So all these commitments were there already, some of it have come in last 10 months. So all put together, 20% is available. And I think by this summers, we are going to cross 30%, and if everything goes well, maybe 40%. So we are doing well in terms of achieving the target. But if any alumnus asks me, Gareth, you are asking too much money from alumni, I just show them this point. 50% is 3,000 crore, 3 years, and divide by number of alumni, it comes to 2 lakh rupees per alumni per year for 3 years. So not that doesn't sound that much. Average, of course. Of course, it will always be very skewed towards few very high donors, and he won't give. But it's an achievable target. I believe we have made good progress towards achieving it. So we will continue be at it, and certainly I have another 4 years plus a few months to go. I would like before starting my last year to have closed this, so that for the next director there is a good runway to build on.
We need to keep promoting the alumni in some way, so they come around with it.
I'm going. Yeah, this is what this plan. This presentation I've been giving all over the world. I think
Who decides how long you stay?
Government of India. Government of India.
It cannot be extended?
It can be if they so decide.
So how do we petition the government? Seriously.
Well, no, I would say this is a plan. I may fail spectacularly in implementing the plan. So maybe by the time I finish 4 years, everybody say this starts counting. Kab hindi bhagega. So I would say let's wait. Let's see how things go. Okay. Thank you. That's all I had to say. Yeah.
I have a question that's
Sure.
related to I've been very concerned about reading that there's a substantial number of suicide.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mental health is very, very critical. And we were students in those 5 years, there was one student who committed suicide. And he lived just 2 rooms away from me. So this subject is close to my heart. So could you please address how that issue is being addressed?
Yeah. So we have had in last, I would say, year and a half, 5 suicides. And look at it interestingly, all 5 are postgraduate students. Yeah. So the undergraduate students now, I mean, because postgraduate population is roughly the same as the undergraduate population, and they come up with a very different set of problems. Our whole setup, counseling service, etc., with time is geared towards addressing the problems of UG students, and I think we are doing fairly well there, because that aspect is very well handled. There is a lot of enthusiastic young kids as student counselors, and they just put their heart and soul into it, and the system works well. But when it comes to PG students, our system doesn't work well because it's not geared towards it. So one of the challenges that we have realized is for PG student, if they have a problem, I interacted with a lot of them. They almost uniformly said they don't want to go to the counseling service. The reason? Because they have the belief, and of course this belief has come because it has been observed in the past, that if some student goes to the counseling service, almost immediately his or her advisor comes to know this. And then if the student is gone with some problem with the advisor or some other faculty, then it becomes a difficult situation for the student. So therefore they say कि भाई उधर जाने का कोई फायदा नहीं है, stay away. And that's very important to address. A student must feel confident that whatever he or she is going to tell will stay within there. So to address that, what we are now decided and is going to get implemented over next couple of months is to split the whole counseling service into a clinical and non-clinical. The non-clinical part will be headed by head counseling faculty with student counselors and everyone. The clinical part will be headed by a professional psychiatrist. And under that will be this professional counselors, full-time. We have 9 full-time counselors today, but what we lack is a professional psychiatrist, very experienced one at the top, who will manage them. And these 2 will be independent. There will be, of course, movement from one side to the other. But if student comes to the professional channel, things will stay there. They cannot go anywhere else. And when I proposed this to PG student, they uniformly liked this idea. They said, this will be fantastic. So next 2 months, we will implement this. Another problem with postgraduate student is the advisor-student relationship. That's very often a cause of a lot of stress. And so there, I've been constantly interacting with our faculty. In fact, just yesterday I visited chemistry department and told the faculty, yes, sure, you have to put pressure on the student because otherwise they slack off. Putting pressure is perfectly okay. But you have to also create pressure release So you should set aside some time, which is non-academic, interact with student and in an informal way, let them release whatever pressure they have. So that is equally important. So hopefully we'll improve this aspect. And this is something very important because even one suicide is one too many.
So what is the proximate cause of this?
It's very complex cause.
Is it financial or academic?
No, this is a complex set of causes. I don't want to get into the too much detail because when you look at some of these situations, you feel what has our society come to? It's really very, very unfortunate. Students being pressured by their parents.
It's cultural.
Yeah, I mean it is, and it's just why? Of course, one has, and no, another theme which is I think present universally is a relationship gone sour. There are a lot more relationships now on campus because number of girls has gone through the roof. And so you guys had no option. There were no such challenges, no such concern. But now it is there, huge number of girls. And relationships go bad and there is a strong emotional reaction to this and sometimes it just goes overboard. But this aspect, one is of course pressure from the advisor and another is this parental pressure, which is very, very difficult to manage. And this is something we can't do anything about. We can only tell the student, by counseling, here is a counseling channel, and that's where it's important to make them feel confident that whatever they share will stay confidential.
I'm very glad you're bringing in the clinical.
Yeah.
Is there stigma attached to see counselor on the campus?
Yes, there is a stigma, but it is going down. It is no longer the situation it used to be that if you go to counselors, you're mad. That I think is no longer.
Parents also require counseling.
Yeah, parents require, but that's something good. Yeah, more than student, parents require counseling, but that's really can't help.
I just want to share the experience of as you rightly said, the way our society is going, the American society has gone overboard. So many grad students are committing suicide. It happened to one of her roommates because of not pressure from parents, but background from which the child came. Broken family.
Broken family.
And another thing they're doing is where parents are an issue. A counselor I think the model you're finding doing is fantastic. Is getting precisely this, getting parents involved in dialogue and using a social worker student. She was like getting professional social workers on the campus as part of this team, so to speak. So sometimes the work needs to be done not only on the campus or with teachers, but off the campus. That's the thought.
You can work on that as we
My granddaughter is
develop.
actually studying psychology, psychology
Right now.
So she's been to they have anonymous helplines. Child is said, okay, you give 6 hours per week, just man that day and you can continue to do homework. But anybody in distress, having thoughts of any type of mental problem, this is more related to mental health, which leads to this kind of an issue. So she manned those desks and she was very concerned with the kind of calls that come. She doesn't know who she's speaking. And they are short anonymity. But the psychology students, psych students are given exposure.
Also, sometimes the students are having some sort of tablets which create suicidal tendencies.
Yeah, that's always the case. Some drugs are available. Yeah. Sorry, you had a question.
But when it comes to the postgraduate and they are almost done.
Different kinds of pressure. Again, I don't want to open all things up because it feels so bad. So there are pressures from parents to give them money.
networking.
So it's financial, basically. Financial.
So maybe counseling should be mandated. Maybe you should, the student should be compelled to see a counselor every few months. So there is no Atul was adding that there is no social stigma attached. Plus, when you see somebody on a regular basis within a stipulated amount of time, you do tend to open up.
Yeah, that's possible, but the challenge there would be the numbers.
Yes, yeah. So,
That's going to be a challenge.
So, listening to your presentation, with the feeling that neuroscience is going to play a major role in growth of the future. I wonder why that is true. What makes it true? Just, I understand there are jobs available in every computer science and others, but engineers have a lot to offer in the other business. That is one aspect of my question. Second aspect of my question. You are asking for this sum of money or these parameters that you requested. What will you give us in return? Will we reach a ranking of what is free?
Okay, that's a good point.
Free counseling services.
Let me look at this. If you see, if you look at parts of this, computer science, of course, AI is there, but AI today is not strictly computer science anymore. It's there everywhere. It's a tool which is applied now, getting everywhere. Drones, medtech, cybersecurity is computer science. Semiconductor, you can say computer science. Yes. Sustainability is certainly not. Quantum is more physics than computer science. So some aspects of this are computer science, and that is determined by two things. Wherever institutional expertise is, as things stand today. I listed this because this is where we are good at today. This is where our groups would like to grow. But things can change with time. Can have new groups formed who want to do different things. We are more than happy to increase this list. And second, of course, with computers are becoming more and more pervasive. So all aspects of life are getting touched by it. So it's kind of natural that some of that will be reflected here. Now, what will I give back? Okay, what I give back is a promise that I will move heaven and earth to change the institute. That's my only promise. I can't promise that I will make us number one in 3 years. I won't want to promise that. So those things are out of my control. What is in my control is what I will do, what I can do. Yeah.
What metrics you are setting and what kind of financial relationship you are planning to build with the companies or government who drive it.
Okay, so this is going to be a tough endeavor. The reason is that unlike, say, top schools in the US and or Western countries, if you look at Indian institutions, we do not have a strong track record of developing technologies. So when it comes to industry or even the government, their first reaction towards academic institution is कि ये लोग केवल पढ़ाते हैं, कुछ पेपर छापते हैं और कुछ करते नहीं. So let's not, if you have a problem to solve, let's not go there. So I cannot expect from day one that the industry or government will be waiting for us to do something and they'll grab it. First, we have to make efforts to demonstrate our interest and competence. That this is what we are, not only we say we'll do, we are actually doing it. Look, here are will take a few years time, I suspect. Once we do that, then I would expect that the industry and government will realize that these guys mean business, then they will come on board. So first few years, we have to practically travel the journey alone. And that's hard part because we are not the industry, we don't have that kind of necessary expertise for developing technologies which are used reaching a deployment stage. And that's where the IOTA comes in. I intend to employ here professionals who have experience in this domain and take their help in making this happen.
Very ambitious.
It is ambitious. It is ambitious. I absolutely.
There is
No, but we have certain leverage. You know, that's like we are, as I said, we are not starting from ground zero. So what the strategy would be? Some of this like cybersecurity, AI application, drones, we are already traveled 60-70% of the journey. So focus on that. It's easier. It's a lower hanging fruit to grab. Demonstrate. Okay, here, look, in these domains, we have done well. Once you demonstrate you have done well in these domains, you know, people will tend to believe if you're saying about other domains, you will also do well.
Read his bio, then you know. Read his bio. Read his bio, then you know it's not ambitious. You can do it.
Sorry, there are questions, yes. Now we have industry, also we have the professor of practice positions, where it is not required to have a PhD or research purpose. The solid industrial experience, such people, we will recruit, and I'm hoping that with this stream becoming stronger, we will have more and more such recruitment. We have about 5 or 6 professors of practice currently on campus. This number should go up.
Good experience. All the way from the university. Just clear.
Yeah.
There is one more area of generation that you can explore. Like in IIT Delhi, what they are doing is they are providing assistance to universities for the design of some of their projects. Not on a regular basis, but it's a and for that they charge. And some portion of the charge goes to the research institute, and bulk of it goes to the institute. So that is also one area.
Yeah, sure. So testing certification of this kind is potential.
Testing, audit, and design.
Absolutely.
All these things.
Yeah. These are areas of revenue, but I don't want us to focus too much on that.
Not
but some amount of it is good.
Some amount. That's what IIT Delhi is.
Yeah, sure.
In this global economy, it's not very difficult to compare ourselves with other leading powers of the world, such as China and India, or US and India. Yet, we did a contribution of China to AI is much, much higher
Yeah.
than between India and its industry.
Yeah.
In its industry. So why is that so? Like we have world-class industry, infrastructure, we have world-class educational systems like IIT, and yet we are nowhere on the map.
Well, books can be written on that. 10 years ago, India, in just looking at the AI space, India was better than China. But Chinese have this ability that once they realize and decide that this is the direction they want to move, their entire system reorients itself and moves in that direction. Our system has so much inertia that it just takes forever to change direction.
Do you have full freedom in the curriculum, the number of departments, choice, government?
No, that we have complete freedom.
Yeah.
Absolutely complete freedom.
भी startups को चला तो उनको हम कुछ कमर्शियल एस्पेक्ट भी ट्रेनिंग दें.
हाँ, तो उसके लिए मेंटर्स हम ढूंढते रहते हैं उनके लिए कि जो बिजनेस साइड में, टेक्निकल साइड तो दे आर they are good, our faculty can help. Lekin business side mein, we always look for mentors from outside who can help.
The government mandate number of students, don't they give you corresponding budget to go with it? Tough question.
They have, government has said they will not give us a single rupee to create infrastructure.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So if we want to create infrastructure, we have to take loan or we raise it from within. Generate your own money to repay loan.
And do they,
The only concession government gives there is कि interest on that loan government will pay.
do they mandate the maximum fees that you can charge of the students?
Yes. Mandate. We can't exceed that.
And how about the scholarships to PG students?
That's also that's given by the government and it's fixed.
Oh, so you don't have any control there.
We are not.
Very expensive property.
It is very expensive, yes. So you see that.
I, as an individual, give towards infrastructure and not towards development or faculty development. Students, which is a much better investment of my money.
See, we need both. It is not that by doing one we can do well. We have to have, we get excellent faculty, get excellent students, we have to provide them excellent setup. Otherwise, why would they stay? So it's both, and it's you rightly said, an individual may feel that, okay, my money is better spent in developing faculty, that's fine. And I'm hoping some will also feel that their money can help in the infrastructure development, so that would also be great. Yeah, okay, question there. So there is a Mhm. City plan. Yes, so we are not through department, but we are working with city administration closely. Like I mentioned about the solid waste management plan, we are discussion about the traffic management plan also. So we are doing our best to help the city, but the key, the key differentiator, the key thing that will change the city are industries, modern tech industries coming to the city. Until that happens, we will just remain a trading center or some old industry, leather, pan masala, वही सब चलता रहेगा. So that's where our focus is really, and that's where we are looking to work with the government of UP to bring more and more tech industry to the state. And if industries come to the state, well, some of them will surely come to Kanpur. Okay.
Do we make this expenditure and income account only, or do we make a balance sheet?
Now I'm out of my depth. I have heard of our finance guys talk about balance sheet, so I think we make balance sheet also. Yeah.
First of all, I must compliment you, sir. I mean, since we last met in August, you were very green to the job, and we discussed our concerns, and I think most of them are being addressed in your.
Thank you.
Want to compliment. There's one area that's still, which I actually took up just to find out what the hell is happening. I was introduced to the chairman who looked after placement. And see, when a grad joins or a student joins IIT, he has that IIT Kanpur step ultimately. The intakes and the postgraduates, they have done their graduation somewhere else. So the relationship that the grad has with this institute is perhaps a little bit stronger. That's what we felt in our lifetime. Placements is something which perhaps is one of the concerns that has not been mentioned in your presentation. If you could bring that under your radar. You see, the majority of students who join to get a job. And if that is also under the leadership's radar as to how are we doing in that age. Because when I spoke, I got data, it was very nice of to me, and this year as well, I got the data. So I circulated the map. But, for example, there's no awareness as to why students are not registering for placement. It is assumed that they're going overseas, or they assume they're going to start up something of their own, or join a family business. So in terms of, if there are, say, 1,000 guys, undergrads who are, or even postgrads who are registering, that is out of how many is not entirely known, and why the others are not there. And how we are doing with respect to the other eye, that's another thing that gets reported, which we feel that, look, are we really on top as far as job placements are concerned on the campus? If you bring that under your radar, it might help.
Actually, it is under the radar. It's just that there are many things in this presentation that I have not included because it was kind of detracting from the focus. Another thing is the media outreach. So when it comes to placement, again, the challenge that I see here is that it has a very informal structure, entirely run by students, which is not a good idea. Because students, firstly, they don't give enough time. They cannot give enough time to run. And second, I mean, if a final year student is running the placement, then it will be a natural tendency to help himself, or at least not only himself, but his wingmates or friends. And that creates a bad taste because these things get known and that creates a overall bad vibes. So we need to professionalize. And I have requested the current placement coordinator to prepare a plan to make the placement office professional. We will continue to have engagement with students and with faculty, but just like I mentioned about counseling service, there will be a core which is professional, there permanently. With time, they will establish strong connections with all industries and everywhere, and they can also then also do. I mean, one thing that we simply have never done is a follow up. Okay, students got placed here, we have the record. How have they done afterward? Have they changed the jobs? What is the average number of years our student spend in a job? Nothing. We have zero data. So with this setup, hopefully we will start collecting that information so that we are better informed about how things are. Yeah.
US for accreditation board, because they collect all that data and they present to the accreditation board, see how the university and departments are doing. Follow up 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line. That is critical for the university.
Yeah, so US universities are the far better job than what we actually have. When your system was small, 1,500 students, 200 per batch, you can do with just informal methodologies. But not now. Every batch we are graduating 1,300 plus students. It's not possible. Just use it. This is just use it. And if you add PGs, it takes 2,500 every year graduating. It's impossible to do things informal. All right. Thank you. Enough with your time.
Thank you, sir, for your illuminating insights. I would now request Mr. Kapil Kaul, CEO, IIT Kanpur Development Foundation, to kindly address the gathering.
Doesn't have the capacity to run two presentations at the same time. So good afternoon, everyone. I think we're running a little behind time today, so I'll try and cover up as much as possible. Most of you know me, and I know most of you personally, and I've had great connections with your batch. Today, I'm filling in for Professor Amay Karkare, who's Dean of Resources and Alumni. He usually makes this presentation, and because he's traveling today, he had some commitments. I am making this presentation on his behalf, and I'm going to talk about the alumni engagement initiatives at IIT Kanpur. And first of all, I'll begin with gratitude towards your batch. And as I said, I know many of you. You've been a first at many uh, in terms of giving back to the institution. I clearly know that the gym project that is there, you, I talk to a lot of people on campus, and they often say that the gym is in a much better shape. नई machine hai, space hai, अच्छा लगता है. Even alumni who were visiting campus visited, and I got good feedback. So that thank you to all of you for that. There's a whole host of initiatives that have been supported. Vinay is here, who's one of the first people to actually make a planned gift to the institute in the form of his will. So thank you, Vinay. And there's so many of you here who've been contributing regularly. There are chairs set up. There's a class fund. There's a scholarship, uh, and so much more. I don't think everything exists in just one slide here. We fundamentally have three pillars of engagement with alumni, starting with the Office of Resources and Alumni, which is headed by Professor Amay Karkare, who's the Dean of Resources and Alumni. Then we have Alumni Association of IIT, which is of IIT Kanpur, which is headed by Mr. Rakesh Sharma, who's an elected member. He's an alumnus and is the current president of Alumni Association. And then we are the new kid on the block, as they say, IIT Kanpur Development Foundation. We've been around for a little over 4 years now, but in these 4 years, we've connected with all of you. And the difference is between the three bodies is DORA office is an institute administrative office, which is the nodal office for all alumni engagement. Alumni Association is an independent alumni body which has its own elected members, and all alumni are members of that. And IIT Kanpur Development Foundation is a professional body created, an organization created by the institute. So we work as an extension of DORA to professionalize and to work with alumni, industry, and external stakeholders, and to raise resources for the institute. Coming to alumni engagement, one of so we do a whole host of activities, and the most important and being the reunions. And last year we had done 9 reunions, and which was attended by over 700 alumni, and including families and everyone. We had more than 1,200 people on campus. This year, we have 10 reunions, and right now, yours is the seventh one. And after this, we have 3 more reunions to go. We're going back to back till 9th of March now. And we'll be ending this season with the Diamond Jubilee reunion of class of 19, the pioneer batch, class of 1965. This is your 55th, which is I would say Diamond Jubilee by entry and 55th for graduation. And we're hoping we'll hopefully see you back for your Diamond Jubilee in another 5 years. So from the pioneer batch, 25 of them are turning up. So we're hoping that there'll be a bigger group from class of 1970. So this is a glimpse of the reunions that we've had this year. The Silver Jubilee was a big one, the largest group that we've ever had on campus. 182 alumni, and including their families, there were 450 plus people on campus. Well, we found places, we created spaces. Absolutely, like Kumbh Mela.
There are stampede.
Thankfully, no. They enjoyed. So another initiative that we started this year, and this is the first one for us, is the Distinguished Alumni Meet. So we hosted one in India, which was in Goa, and one in New York. And the whole idea of this Distinguished Alumni Meet is the director presented his vision to them, and he received inputs from our distinguished alumni, and who, through which a lot of this vision has got streamlined, and they're also committing their time and resources to be a part of the whole implementation plan. Uh, Besides the Distinguished Alumni Meet, one thing which has become a, a, a regular part of our annual calendar is something called as IIT Karma, which is essentially we're taking campus to different places. Reunion is typically batches, and when people come back to campus, Karma is where we go to different cities across the world, taking the campus there, where director, dean, and other faculty members interact with alumni. So in 24, we did a Karma in Singapore, and we also did it in US. We went to 5 cities this year and engaged with over 500 alumni. Uh, and we also did Karma in India, which has been due for a long time. Some of you attended this one in Delhi. We went to Mumbai, Bangalore, and Delhi, and we'll ensure that this remains an annual event all across. Coming next, one of our important jobs is to connect alumni to the institute to give back. And when I talk about giving back, we're not just limiting it to resources or money. Another important thing is time. Like when I spent a semester here teaching, so he gave his time to the campus. So we're seeking a lot of time from our alumni. So in that regard, one event which we run is Alma Connect, which is a platform for alumni student engagement that we've created. Uh, in this year, we've done uh, 42 sessions where 48 alumni have participated. These sessions are either online or in person, where alumni, when they're visiting the campus, they engage with students in the form of a lecture or interactions. So over 2,500 students have been engaged with different alumni over through the Alma Connect initiatives. Otherwise, online, where we do it through Zoom sessions and people attend. The other important initiative is AIM, which is Alumni Inspired Mentorship, because one thing where this is broad, the Alma Connect is a broad session where there's one alumni or two alumni speaking, and there's a broader audience. AIM, which is the mentorship program, is far more focused, wherein there is a more one-on-one interaction between alumni and students. So at this point of time, we've brought in a platform for this, and we have close to 500 students who are engaged with close to 300 alumni under this program. Uh, Coming to giving back to resources, Professor Agarwal has already shared his vision on what we are trying to seek in the next 3 years, which is largely around in the American university parlance, I would say, a capital campaign phase, wherein we want to raise a certain amount of capital, but once we're done with that, we want to go into building our endowment, which will help us really focus on building capacity of our students and faculty. While we continue working for our raising resources for students and faculty all the time, but at this point of time, putting more energy towards capital. This is a broad category of, uh, I would say, categorization of what we raise resources for. Their research grants, student entrepreneurship program in research and innovation. There's community welfare projects, Opportunity School, Rosie Shiksha Kendra, and there's Shiksha Sopan. In infrastructure, we'll require funding in the med school for new departments and centers, lab upgradation and setting up new labs, and student housing. And for students, there's scholarships, awards, travel grants, Sayog, and career guidance and skill development. And for faculty, there's obviously for their development, there's new faculty fellowships, young faculty fellowships, chairs, research initiation grants, and the distinguished lecture series. This is a glimpse of various initiatives to which people can contribute. One of the two critical ones here, one new one that we started is Magic, which is aimed at younger alumni, where we're saying, uh, which is monthly alumni giving for IIT Kanpur, which is aimed at younger alumni so that they start contributing small amounts, which grows into a substantial sum over a period of time. And then the other one is planned giving, which is a part which is more aimed at senior alumni who can uh, uh, in their will, their retirement fund, they can leave or they use their retirement funds to contribute. Especially in US, it's a very it's a normal practice where people contribute through their will in terms of stock or insurance policies and other things, where the nominee is the institute. So that is another program. Vinay has already made a step in that direction. Uh, there's several initiatives supported by batches, and your batch has been at the forefront, whether it's the scholarship or the gym. And the gym is a very special project for us because that is one project that we have delivered so far in terms of a project delivering coming to life. So that is very close to our heart, and we want to do that with all the projects that we have undertaken, and there are some very large ones. And that someone was asking me that what keeps you awake, and delivery is the only thing that keeps me awake. So we have to deliver on these projects. So there is a conversation about setting up a museum. We've got some funds. So the space that we're thinking of using is, and I'm going to have a conversation with director, the new building, or do we use the foyer of the faculty building to build that out? That is a very good space. We just need to ensure that we cover it up and use a certain portion of it where memorabilia of IIT Kanpur. Been a conversation also about building uh, an institute science museum or a technology museum somewhere, but that is not, I would say, top priority today because there are other things which take precedence. So, but there is a conversation around using the foyer space for the museum. Coming to corporate engagement, corporates have also industries, a very important source of funding for us, and we see it growing in the days to come. So we have been engaging quite actively with them, and we've grown the portfolio of partner organizations significantly. Uh, what we did this year was we had hosted an event called IIT Kanpur Samanvay 2024. This was IIT Kanpur's first ever industry academia thought leadership program. We had panelists from industry who participated. We had over, I would say, 60 to 70 industry representatives, 18 panelists. The keynote was delivered by Dr. R.S. Sharma and Mr. S.P. Shukla. And we had our departments participating, their technologies, their developments, and it was very, very impressive. And we see good results emerging from it. Another thing that we want to do this is make this an annual event where we are able to attract industry to the campus. Uh, uh, Donor reporting and stewardship is another critical aspect of our work, wherein we report back to our donors in terms of what impact has their contributions created at IIT Kanpur. So these include fundraising reports, project program reports, the financial UCs, which is the utilization certificates. Some reports are sent annually, some are quarterly, some half yearly, some monthly, or depending on donor requirements. So the reporting of projects and programs, at this point of time, we have close to 320 programs running from 273 donors, 335 programs, of which we've reported 320. There is still a gap of 15, which we're trying to close because we haven't received those reports. So that's something that we need to fix. On the project side, our reporting, these are mostly large projects, and we have a fixed system where we are able to report on a timely basis to our donors. Uh, Converge is another platform that we've created which brings together the donors and the beneficiaries. So, uh, one of the things which typically we've lacked in the past is that while you've contributed to the place, you know there's a scholarship running, but you don't know who the beneficiary is. Uh, so, so, so there was always this question: Hey, is it a black hole? I don't know what happens. So, what we do now is connect alumni, donors with the beneficiaries either through one on one meetings personally or virtually through a Zoom meeting where the initiative that you've contributed towards you're able to. So, for example, the scholarship for class of 1965 scholarships that you established, you should be meeting the beneficiaries of those scholarships through these programs, and there is an individual interaction. You will be able to see who's the beneficiary and what impact is your scholarship creating in their lives. Similarly, for chairs, the professors will talk to you that the work that they're doing, uh, how the additional funding from the chair has been helpful to them. And so this is something which has worked well for us. In terms of our fundraising, we've grown significantly since 21-22. We've made a jump. We're averaging around 150 odd crores, but that is not good enough. We need to make a 6x jump from here. Not exactly 6x, but I would say at least a 4x, 5x jump from where we stand today. And so there is work cut out for us, and we are geared up for it, I would say, as a team. Uh, some of our major donors, they are listed here. And I'll end by just giving you a glimpse of the team that we work with. This is the team at DORA, which is headed by Professor Amay Karkare, who's the Dean of Resources and Alumni. And then there is the team at IITK DF, which I'm sure you would have realized has grown significantly from the time when you were last here, and you interact with many of them. And this is the Alumni Association team, which is obviously Rakesh ji is the president, and uh, most people here are, I would say, volunteers because they're elected members. However, they have an administrative head in Ms. Babita Lohani, and she has a couple of staff who work with her. And this is, I spoke about the Alumni Inspired Mentorship Program, and this is a QR code you can scan and register for this program if you want to mentor any students at an individual level. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. It's almost lunchtime. Yes.
The very first slide where you showed people who have made contributions from our batch.
Yeah.
Can you put that up, please?
Sure.
No, just a second.
The tree.
There's a threshold for that.
No, सबसे पहले थी.
नहीं, सबसे पहले the tree.
Yeah. Not all members are.
Not all are listed there.
Not all.
It was
Just please put it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Go back.
Yeah.
The biochar project
Yes.
by Ratan Datta, who
Yep.
passed away a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Could you please update that slide and send it to me? I would like to send it to his wife.
Certainly, certainly. In fact, his wife made a contribution this year towards that project. So
I know it's ongoing.
it's ongoing. So that funding came in. I'll send you the report for the biochar project.
Okay, please.
Certainly.
One suggestion, this IITK Samanvay, which you talked about,
Yes.
interacting with industry. I don't know where you are conducting this program, but my suggestion would be that you conduct it at various metro cities.
We were going to do that.
Repeatedly.
Absolutely. So this is the plan for this year. Plan for this year is to take Samanvay to different locations, to Delhi, to Bangalore, to Mumbai, to Hyderabad, so that we're able to galvanize them and connect them. So that's very much part of it. Thank you. Thank you. Correct.
Minor change, we might have to make a presentation for our batch. We were the first one to organize cultural festival that time. FAM was and Sonam Mansi came. And also, we organized a film festival where we invited the dignitaries and celebrities from Bombay. In fact, one I told you, Sukhdev, the film director, he came to inaugurate, and it was the theme was 21 years of Indian documentary. Because 21 after independence, that's 68, 21 years have passed. So the theme was 21 years. That was a film festival.
Thank you very much. Your points are duly noted, and I will make sure that I capture it in your next reunion for sure. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have come to the end of today's ceremony, I would now request Mr. Surajit Sen, batch coordinator, to kindly address the gathering on behalf of the batch.
Yeah. Though I live in Delhi, I've still not become a Singh. I'm still sane. Sane. Yeah. So anyway, I'm extremely happy to see that, 2 years hence, when we came last time, we had many, many issues. And by and large, everything is being addressed. If not fully addressed, it is in the process of being addressed. So that's a big step forward, and thank you, Dr. Agarwal, and the rest of the leadership in IIT Kanpur for going ahead with all that. And of course, everyone has few points, like this is a very small point. You made a beautiful presentation. We went to a few centers yesterday as a team to visit, and the top person obviously is busy, he's not available. So I suggest that you make a presentation for that center, so that there were millions of questions which senior people asked, but the people who actually spoke to us were not in a position to reply. So have a formal presentation for every center. That would help. And we look forward for the next reunion. Hopefully all the hostels will be up by then. And if you find accommodation shortage, you can put us up there. Oh, that will be excellent. Great. So any point I miss out? Besides the formal vote of thanks, let's proceed for lunch then. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sen. We would now have the batch photograph here only. We can do it outside? Okay, we'll have it outside. Thank you.
So glad to see you. Love you for some time. But who gave you all the dope?